Exodus 35, 35, we won't read that. But it's the part whereby God was actually talking to Moses, akamwambia, I have put understanding and skill to Aholiab and Bezalel for them to come up with devices and things to build the tabernacle of the Lord. And we realize that we were given skill to work out with copper and bronze and such like things to make up the temple of the Lord. Things that also did not come out of the blues. They had to think about it. They had to use the plan and the pattern that God had given for it to become what it was. One as a hero. Yeah, so having had that background, we ask ourselves, what is the influence of technology amongst the Christian youths? What influence does it have over us? And we have to start from this understanding that technology is a two-sided coin. It has the good side and the bad side. It has both blessings and the opposite of it, one as a fear. Yeah, and it is actually a catalyst of change and an opportunity for both good and evil. Because we understand that human beings are intrinsically evil, right? So technology in the hands of an evil man can end up being used for a wrong purpose because of a wrong motive. Praise the name of the Lord. When the device itself is not evil. It can't be evil on its own. But once it's in the hands of a human being who is not morally upright, and one who is not given over to the Lord, then it can be used for the wrong purpose. And the same also applies for a Christian. Because you can be easily influenced to use that device, to use that software, to use that tool for a wrong purpose and for a wrong thing than what it was supposed to be. So I have divided the ways of influence into 6 major parts, of which we see that technology affects how we think, it affects how we interact and relate with others, it has influenced how we study, it has influenced how we work and how we view work, it has also influenced how we do perceive life, or rather we call it the worldview, like which worldviews have technology influenced us to have, among many others. And I put an NB opportunity saying that technology is a gift from God, brought about by His skilled image bearers, and should be used to know Him better, build up our neighbors, and also glorify His name. And when this one does not happen this way, we end up having the opposite side of the good part of technology. One has a few. Can we ask a neighbor if they have ever been influenced by technology? If he says no, he's a liar. Okay, continue. So there are 2 images over there. You can go to slide, I don't know which number it is. Next. There. Yeah, so there is this theory that someone came up with. It's called the hepodynamic needle theory or the magic bullet theory. So this is actually what happens when we give ourselves to mass media. Like, information is normally put into our minds, into our thoughts, that changes how we think and how we reason things. And you're seeing that the next picture, it's mass media in proper. It's a television having a gun, and it shoots an idea to the 2 guys sitting there. And you're seeing what they're imagining is just television, which is part of mass media. So this is what the theory says. It says that media messages are like magic bullets that enter people's minds and hearts with force, and which people cannot stop. People that seem powerless against the media. But this one cannot be true and should not be true for you as a Christian, because you should not be powerless against the media. It shouldn't be that way. You should actually take charge and be able to control yourself. Still on the same, how technology influences our minds. You see the guy, he has ordinary opinions. You add mass media, he has different opinions. You had an idea about something, you take your phone, you take your laptop, you take or rather go to that place, IT staff, you check some things and your ideas are completely changed. What you used to believe, you don't believe it anymore because of the influence that you have had or you have seen in mass media. The other thing to say is that this guy is thinking about oranges, but the TV is telling him apples are good. And it's equating for him thinking apples are good. Bonus if you will. And it changes his perception towards oranges because now he thinks apples are better than oranges. I don't know how that true is. But anyway, we see that his thoughts are being affected by what he is putting his mind into. And this is one of the ways that Christian youth are being affected, because once you don't have a standard understanding about something, and you allow technology to come in and to influence that, it can either turn out for good, because you might have been deceived by something bad, but after you have used your phone to search, to Google, or to research, you find better ideas which are very good. In the opposite case, you knew things that were right, but by using technology, your ideas are actually shifted, and you think of bad things as good things. Am I communicating? Does this happen to us? Does technology affect our thoughts and our thinking patterns? Talk to me. Does it? Does it? It does. But now we need to know how is it affecting our thoughts. The next bit is that it affects our interactions and our relationships, which is also in two ways. In one way is that technology has helped us to maintain and to be able to have friendships even beyond boundaries and borders that are confining us. That you went for an LMS, you found a friend from Masai Mara, and still you're communicating because you are having the guidance. I'm talking about a good friend and meaningful friendships. Yeah, so technology can help us maintain friendships because it's easy for us to communicate. It's easier for us to be in touch with people who are far away from us. And we have things such as video calls, WhatsApp calls, they call them video calls, right? Yeah, and other things that can help us to come together. And that's why they say that the world is a global village, because you can easily get information and get connected to people who are actually far away from us. In the opposite side, or rather the flip side of that, is that interactions and relationships have been affected negatively in a way that there is no meaningful friendship to some extent. Like friendship is now superficial, only on the surface level. You only post things, you only post your, let me say your good times. You are presenting to the world that you are doing very well, everything in your life is perfect, but you know deep down, you're suffering in one or the other. You know deep down, what you're posting up is actually not a reality of what is happening inside of you. And this one has affected most young people, Sana, because you should look at those statuses. You see how your friends are, they're having soft life. They call it soft life. They're having soft life and they're doing all these things and you just wonder, why am I not having such good moments? And it can even lead you to a point of depression because you wonder and you start comparing yourselves with others. You are putting others as your benchmark. But just to encourage you, some of the things which are in those social media platforms, because I believe when you talk about technology, actually what young people are being affected with is social media. It may not be affected by how the trains are moving, how the garis in the enda, how the aeroplanes are, but social media is a part of technology that is affecting the young people most. Talk of Facebook, talk of Instagram, talk of other things that have come up, TikTok. And people are faking their lives, literally faking their lives, presenting it to the world, and then you want such a thing, you try it, you fail, and your life becomes a whole disaster. You end up having mental issues, you end up having mental illnesses because you are not keeping up with the standards of this world, of which that should not be our focus. As I said, we are of the world, we are in the world, but we're not of the world. Moving forward, how technology has affected us in the place of study. I know during Corona time, most of us were doing perhaps Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, Zoom classes, and that is a good sign because at least you can still be able to continue your studies. It has improved our studies in that manner. It has also enhanced learning because you can still have a blend of the online classes, the physical classes, and this one is happening in the church. Like right now, kuna I believe, like you're using technology to make this service live. So, we are presenting this thing to other people who are not here with us, and that is enhancing learning in the Christian sector. It has also increased the accessibility of information. You are able to do your researches much easily because you have the information all around you, everywhere. You can get the information actually, literally anywhere, because technology has made that possible. On the flip side again, how it has negatively affected our studies is that there has, in as much as we have accessibility of information, it has also made available immoral things, immoral literature, immoral content. And it's easy for a young person to get an immoral content very fast. You know, kitambo nasemanga, it wasn't that easy. Ungeenda ujifiche, sijui ingie wapi, upate DVD or a tape for you to access certain things. But right now, it's just on your phones. It's you deciding, or rather being influenced. You just make that one click, and every immoral stuff, bad things, bad and evil things are just before you. So this is the bad side of it. Another negative part is the bit of arrogance, because everyone thinks that they know. You have a lot of information, like kila mtu anajua. Like you can't tell me anything. I've researched, I know everything. And young people in the church are growing to become arrogant here. They're not having a teachable spirit to just sit down and listen to what you're being told. Because you think you have known everything, but the kind of information that has been presented or that is accessible to us. The last, there's so many, so I tried compressing them. The other bit is on laziness. Due to technology, people are becoming lazy to study. You know that you can actually, still as more on your project, still as more of an assignment, you can just go copy and you paste, right? As easy as that. And people are becoming lazy day in and day out. All the time kufikiria sana, you want quick things and quick fixes. Hii imeshika watu wengi, si ndio? Watakanisa pia you copy assignments, copy and pasting. Alafu mnanipa tu synonyms za what is there, sijulikane. Yeah, so that's a negative thing about technology. It has caused people to become lazy. Don't want to go the extra mile. Unataka kwenda library, ufungue ile vitabu na how many pages for you to study. It's easy for you to just check online and you get what you need. Very fast, how it has affected our work. This is the positive side of how technology has affected work and how we view work. Number one is there is mobility of work. You can be a student, you can be working for a company and still in school. It's not a must for you to go to that farm, it's not a must for you to go to that office for you to work. It's very easy to do it on your phone or rather in your house. Like work has been made very mobile. When these guys on Malizana hapa, it's easy, still as more work at for editing. They go back to their homes, they edit, or come on and pick a picture, they're going to edit and send it to you. Like work is very mobile, you can do it from anywhere. There is also efficiency and productivity of work, which is another influence of technology, of which there is better output over a very short period of time. Very short period of time. I remember in Embu, there was this guy, alikuwa na cameraman. So alafu basically yake kwa vile kuna tulikuwa na afini na kama ilikuwa kama holi, lakini kakatuka black alafu anafini ile kimea. So when you hear him around the place, you just know kwa kamera amefika. Anakuja wapige picha, alafu waambie tuwaletea after some days, or even a week. Ataenda afanye vitu zake awalete, ikiwa na ile, you guys mmepata hizo tips? Kuna picha alafu ile nini yake negative. We call them negative. Wenye unajiona hapo in black and white unakaa funny. Yeah, but right now work is very productive, very easy. They just take a shot, it's okay. Like I can even edit it very fast, and work has been made. There is also an enhancement of communication, like or rather to preach on this topic of technology influence. Hapo kunitafuta kwenye nilikuwa traveling all the way to come and look for me, but it's just one phone call away. So meaning that work has the communication has actually been, it has been easier because of technology. Increased security in what we're having. You know, currently we are having a lot of cyber security issues. People are hacking you left, right, and center. Some unapata message wanakwambia, sasa naomba keshoge, I'm in a problem, nitumie 500. Ukishatuma mtu anakwambia, actually my phone was hacked. Sijui nani alikutumia simu yangu. That happened to me. A friend texting me and I'm seeing this is his number. Namtumia pesa, and afterwards, napata message that actually my phone was hacked and your message ikumetoka kwangu. And you just imagine like how many people sent that money because they come up in so much pain and devastation, but because of other cybersecurity measures, these things can be cut and they can be prevented. So it has increased security. The last one on that bit is that we gain higher competitive advantage, mostly if you're in the marketplace. At least once you employ some technological processes and systems, you can have a higher gain over your competitors and over your rivals, quote unquote, in the business world. So that is a good side of it and how it has affected our work. But how has it negatively affected how young Christian youth view work? And I chose to narrow down to one aspect of online writing. I know that is something that most people, if not most, in the campuses are doing, online writing. But we ask ourselves, what kind of online writing are you doing? Is it that you're doing assignments for people? Are you writing basics for people? Are you doing exams for people and then unakulipa? Because as a Christian, that is not integrity. It is not. I know tunasema kuna bone of contention happening. I know online writing comes in two forms. I know. Kuna the good part whereby it's actually good online writing, but kuna ile ingine unafanyia mtu kazi. And there is no difference with you unapopiga exams, kama unafanyia mtu exams for class. No difference. That's just you are behind the screen, but doing the same thing at a fee. The same thing. And actually, BBC walikuwa wamefanya a report, and you can see it in bold there. The Kenyans who are helping the world to cheat by BBC, because what we are calling online writing is actually contract cheating, and it is lack of integrity. And I'll read what he wrote. Young people are working for the sake of earning rather than viewing work as a form of service and worship to God. We are going for any kind of work as long as it brings good money at the expense of morality and truth. For you, and down there in notes, kuna hiyo phrase of a certain teacher, anaitwa Kennedy. He used to be a teacher, but now he's doing online writing. And alikuwa like, are you not seeing that you are, this is wrong, like it's morally wrong. But unasema tu, what I care, but what do I care more than my own life? At times you have to survive first to think about the morals. This is what the guy says. I know that is something that is affecting most people right now. Because I know, like, we are living in a time that economic imbalance, things are high, you want an extra source of income, but truth be told, if you're doing the kind of online writing whereby you're doing assignments for other people at a fee, then that is where you're drawing the line. That is why you're saying, it is wrong. There is good online writing. There is legal online writing. But now there is a legal part of which most people in the universities are being involved in. And that is a true fact. So it has affected our view of work because right now people are working just for money, not realizing that we need to do everything as to the Lord and not unto men. We need to do everything with the understanding that we are Christians and we ought to actually emulate Christ in whatever we do. And in whatever we, whatever we do actually. So if you have been doing underwriting in any illegal, you can think twice about it. Yeah, and an admonition in the book of 1 Timothy 6:6-10. It says, now godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out of it out. And having food and clothing with these we shall be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and harmful lusts, which drown men into destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. As a young person, why are you working? Are you working because you love money? Are you allowing money to be your master? Because Christ says you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and mammon, because you're going to be loyal to one and watching and giving. Which right now most people are under the influence of money. You are actually working for money, but you should allow money to work for you to some extent. You're the one who is giving value for the money that you are having. Yeah, we move on to the next bit of how technologies are affecting the Christian youth. On the part of evangelism, I know you've been hearing of the term digital evangelism since sana. Like you can put some good videos, you can put up some good quotes, you can come up with good content and put it on your social media platforms and just evangelize Christ. And this is happening. If you're not doing this, you can think about it. Digital evangelism. It is a platform that we have been presented with by technology, and us using it to bring in Christ and for us to make Him known. But we find the voice of the church through preaching in the various platforms. You also have print media. People write books, you print them out, you send them forward, and they are going to actually evangelize Christ and to make Him known. So you have print media, we have mass media, we have modes of transport, which have helped evangelism to even be much faster. Right now it's easy for you to live here in Embu. You take a bus, go to Turkana, it's okay, it's actually a lot of hours, but still it's much better than Kitambo. It's easier for us to promote and to move from one place to another for us to evangelize Christ. But still on that, there is someone who was saying that a sermon is something that you can go abroad to preach, but not something that you can cross your road to hear. Like sometimes people are so ready to go out, already kuenda nje, already kupanda hiyo ndege, kupanda hiyo matatu, kuna another, but the things around you, we not really care about them. You cannot just cross the street for you to listen to a sermon, rather to preach that sermon. So we need to have a balance. The negative bit of evangelism, you stay together, right? Tuko kimoja? Asante. Yeah, the negative bit of evangelism, of technology to evangelism, I also narrow this down to one specific area. It's on the bit of liberal theology, which is also known as liberal Christianity or Christian modernism, whereby people interpret Christians, it's a movement that interprets Christian teaching by taking into consideration modern technology, science, and ethics. It emphasizes the importance of